What's up, guys? I just wanted to make a quick video kind of going over how I did my Ram Air mod on my 2007 ZZR600. I've had a few people ask me how I've gotten it to work, since it can be a little problematic. Now, unfortunately, I didn't take any sort of video or document much, but I figured I could at least kind of go over what it looks like underneath the gas tank. If you're interested in doing this mod, or just kind of don't really know what it is, on the front of the fairing, it's got this setup to kind of push air into the carbs, or at least that's how I understand it. Now, I'm not a big fan of how the bike looked with the front fairings, so I wanted to go for more of that Streetfighter look. And I had to dig through a lot of old forums to kind of figure out what I'm doing. So I can't say with any guarantee this will work for you, but it's worked for me so far, and I did this in October of last year, and it's now, May? So it's been running pretty well, at least the same as when it was, or when it did have the Ram Air set up. So again, I mean, I can't really walk through what I did, but I can at least show what it looks like now. So the big difference is going to be underneath the air box. Before, there's a huge setup before of different sort of air filters and different tubes connected. Basically, what I surmised from a whole bunch of different forum posts is when you're doing the Ram Air, I guess, delete, you just pretty much rip everything out and plug up everything else. So like these tubes that were going into it from the carbs into the Ram Air before, you essentially tee off and it circles back into the airbox. From what I understand, it needs to have some sort of constant pressure. Otherwise, when you start hitting, anything above 6,000 RPMs, it's going to start bogging down. I've had a few people tell me already on Instagram that's kind of what's happening to them. They'll be fine in the low range, but once they get anything between 6,000 and up, it either dies on them or it goes to a crawl. So again, what I did is I ripped everything out, and I plugged up everything that didn't need to go. So this T going from the carbs just circles back to the airbox, like I said. And we have these that I didn't have another plug. But if you have a double barbed end, they can just plug into each other, which I should probably try to fix that while I've got everything off. So again, these little guys can just plug into each other. Then we have back here these two guys, which right here, the easiest way would be to get some block off plates, and you can just block off both of those tubes. But I mean, I'm cheap, I didn't want to spend the money, and I had some extra tubing. So I've just plugged them into each other. Again, I don't know if that's the best way to do it. It's a better view. I don't necessarily know if that's the best way to do it, but that's what I've done. And it's worked for me so far. It's just plugging those into each other. But I mean, if you don't mind spending a little extra money on the block off plates, go ahead and do that. Again, you're gonna end up with a lot of extra stuff that just essentially gets tossed out. I wish I had a better explanation for this guy, but from what I read, you essentially plug up this little breather tube and just end up putting a small little air filter on this guy, which I'm not even going to pretend like I know where it goes to. So once you can get that plugged up and kind of figure out what needs to be plugged up underneath the airbox, for the most part, that should be it. I mean, I didn't have to touch anything for the carbs. I did this while I was doing a jet kit install, so I was already messing and trying to tune it to the best of my ability. So that might be something you might have to do after. With the gas tank, because I removed a lot, I don't know if it's the same for every other gas tank, but the red and the blue tubes that connected to essentially different types of filters, I think, since you remove those with the Ram Air Delete, you don't need those tubes. I just plugged them up, and then this guy is just for gas overflow. So you'll keep that, and that's just about it. Now for these, I decided to keep these and just cut them off right where it stuck out. I used an old cap to some spray paint and just used some mesh cover just so no like big rocks or anything gets in. Although I might try to 3D print a better looking cap, but I've seen some people who just get rid of this outright. I'm assuming they have no problem with it. But that's pretty much what I did in a nutshell. Just remove all the tubes that came out from the front of the fairing and plug up everything that was connected to it. I can take some better quality pictures and post those somewhere. But hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, I can try to answer them a little bit better. Yeah, good luck, guys. Here my bike is all put back together. I figured I could give it a quick turn over, let you guys hear what she sounds like. Although it's going to sound a little different because I've put on a different exhaust. I put on a Super Trap. Some people love it, some people hate it, whatever. I like it. But I'll turn it on real quick so you guys can hear that, you know, everything, for me at least, sounds pretty good. So there she is. Again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I love the crap out of this mod. She still pulls great. She still rides great. I think the only issue I have is cold starts, but I mean, that's just having a carb bike. So I'm gonna figure that one out. It'll be a happy day. So again, if you guys have any questions, if I can be of better help, let me know. Do what you can. Ride safe, guys.